here is everything you want to know and more about Overdrive. The basis of Overdrive is that it allows you to increase your metal income by pumping energy into your metal extractors. So, to demonstrate this, I'll make a solar collector with no cost enabled, and this 2 income metal extractor has this 2 energy being pumped into it, giving it an extra 35% for 2.7 income. This is governed by a square root equation. It's not linear, so extra energy is not so great. With 7 extra solars, I can demonstrate the equation quite nicely with an example. So the multiplier for your metal income is the total energy, the square root of the total energy sent to the metal extractor, divided by 4. So this is a nice simple case because I have these 8 solar collectors that are producing 16 energy in total. 16, square root of 16 is 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. So 1 as a percentage is 100. So I've got 100% extra metal being produced by Overdrive. And you can see it in this tooltip. Overdrive is going 16 energy to 2 metal. So that's the basics of Overdrive. What's this grid do? Well, if you don't have a grid or you've got a disabled structure, then you cannot overdrive your metal extractors. This grid sets an upper limit on the amount of energy that can be sent to your extractors, although it isn't a lower limit. So if I just, let's get some energy drain. Got these cloakers, they drain energy. Well, I'm actually losing energy now. So the grid is not sending energy to this metal extractor, it's sending it to my storage. Only excess energy is used for overdriving. Although it's not excess when your storage is full, it's excess net energy. So let's turn these guys off. And we'll see I'm producing energy and some of it's going to overdrive. The amount of energy going to overdrive is increasing as my storage is increasing. So if I've got a half full storage, then half my energy, my net excess energy will go to overdrive. Which I have, my net is my income because I have no energy drain at the moment apart from overdrive. So that is how the basic overdrive works with income and energy expenditure. In a team game, all of the energy, all of the little bits of excess energy from the entire team are collated together and then put into the overdrive system as a whole, and then the metal that comes out is redistributed because that makes the most efficient system. So these grids can have multiple metal extractors. So if I make a grid, perhaps with a pylon, what a pylon does is all it does is extend the overdrive grid. You often don't want to make them, you often want to make lines of solars to collect them, or lines of other energy generators, because this is just 200 metal spent on, what, a bit of logistics. But, so I'll show you this grid with 2 metal extractors in it. What this grid is doing is it's sending 8 energy, because I've got 16, 8 energy to each extractor. And this is a better grid. You can see it's slightly greener compared to this yellow grid because the square root function's kicking in and producing more metal. So the square root of 8, well, that's a big number compared to the square root of 16 when you multiply the square root of 8 by 2. And you can really see this efficiency if you connect more mexes. So let's connect a bunch of extractors and watch as the metal increases. So now I'm producing 5.66 extra metal. just from this 8 solars. Whereas over here, we're only producing 2 extra metal from the same amount of energy. Now grids are auto-balancing in a sense. If I turn this guy on, this grid goes, well, I'm a great grid, I'm going to take all the energy because my mexes are being run so efficient and low at their 35% overdrive. This grid is the one which loses its maximum capacity because this mex just sucks. Basically, it's taking all the energy for itself and is not efficient at all. Whereas this grid, you know, wow, it's very efficient with only 2 energy per mex. If you're not too scared of charts, well, here's a chart. I hope you're not too scared of them. This chart shows what the overdrive equation looks like in a few situations. With 1 mex, here's 1 mex, you pump some energy in and you get a extra metal income. I've done it for a +2 mex, just for simplicity. So if you put 16 in, you get 2 more. For 2 mexes, if you put 16 in, you get 4.47, so better. And you can see here, 1 mex is this blue line down here, which is pretty terrible. And 5 mex is this red line up the top, which is quite good. One more thing on Overdrive, mega mexes. Overdrive works on multiplying income. So if you have a giant mex, great. And this map, in fact, has a giant mex. So if you look over here, this mex produces 4. If I put my good old 8 solars next to it, 8 solars next to it, then this is producing an extra 8. This is producing an extra 4. 4 plus 100%, 8, 4 is 8. So it's producing more, and if you link it, it will in fact take all of the energy for itself. Well, not all of the energy, but let me link all these grids together, and we'll see, well, this mex is so amazing that it's taking 11.7 energy, whereas these are only taking 2.9, and that's because, you know, 86% of 4 is the same as 43% of 2. So you don't have to worry about any kind of misconnection. Connecting is always good in the sense that it won't reduce your income. The grid knows how to balance itself. But what you do have to worry about is spending too much on connecting. I spent 1,000 metal on connecting these grids. Was that worth it? Maybe I should have just built a solar next to each mex instead. Although, if you've got some kind of big energy source, then it's probably worthwhile to get some pylons out and connect some more mexes because they'll all be great. Like, look at this guy. A lot of extra metal there. And if your grids are very mismatched in their color, well, think about connecting that, because this red grid, that's what? 7 extra metal for 200 energy, and this one, it's making 8 with only 30. So connect them and they'll be great. That's really about it for Overdrive. Get the mega mexes, try and balance the grid out, pay attention to the color, and if you really want to get into it, look at this tooltip with the Overdrive efficiency. Hope that's explained everything. Ask questions, definitely, because I'll know what I need to go over.